Alright, hello and welcome everybody to Katawa Shoujo. Now, we left off somewhere else last time, but, you know, the stuff that happened isn't something I think I can put on YouTube. So, I feel obligated to tell you that they, dry humped. And Rin interfered, and because she was looking for a cloud, and then she left again, and it was implied that they had sexual intercourse afterwards. But the sexual intercourse wasn't showed. It was just implied. And that's where I left off too. So let's read on what happens now. Oh man, I could have lived without that dry humping, you know. That was not cool. Anyway. The sunlight breaks through my window shortly before my alarm ruins the morning silence. I feel sore. The events of the previous evening suddenly intrude upon my consciousness, and I find myself blushing. Yeah, you better do. That was an eventful evening, and it explains perfectly the soreness in my lower back. Joke of the year. The walk back, as I recall, had been rather tense. My trousers having been soiled, I had washed them off in the bathroom before going back to my room. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. But there was still a fairly obvious looking stain on the front. Fortunately for me, the only person I ran into on my way back was Kenji. And he didn't notice a thing. Yeah, of course he did. He didn't. Well, apart from my being in the general vicinity. Of course, he'd ask how the night went, and whether or not I'd learned anything of importance. I don't even know if I opened my mouth to answer. I was too tired to care. And this morning, I'll admit that I'm feeling pretty worn out. Still, Amy had promised to meet me at the track, and I'd hate to disappoint. She is indeed waiting for me when I arrive, doing her best to look cheery, despite the fact that she's sitting in a wheelchair. I wave to her and begin stretching. You're early. Amy frowns and shakes her head. Ridiculous! You are late! Overslept, he saw. All tuckered out. Why did I have to witness that? Well, at least she seems more like her old self. As expected, she doesn't seem that shy about mentioning our previous activities. Hey, you are lucky I could show up at all. All that cardiovascular activity last night, I nearly thought I'd have to see the nurse afterwards. Amy laughs out loud, lol. Then her face suddenly becomes concerned. Hey, that's not, you're not. Go on, spit it out. It's just that it would be hard to explain if you had an episode while we were... Oh. Well, personally, I would find that very amusing. Oh. Now that she mentions it, it really is a legitimate concern. I certainly hadn't thought of it last night, of course. Other, more pressing concerns had been at hand. At hand. Well, I don't think anything we do is going to be any more of a strain than these morning runs, and I handled those fine. So, Amy considers this point. A devious light appears in her eyes. Say, oh my god! Oh my god, that expression! Jesus. Say, huh? The light vanishes and Amy grins ruefully at me. I can't help but feel vaguely suspicious. I seem to have forgotten a pair of gloves. What do you need gloves for? Amy indicates the chair upon which she is seated. For this, of course. Sure, regular moving around is well and good without them, but I want to be able to get a good workout. And to get that kind of speed, you gotta have gloves if you don't want blisters. Well, that's a rather, weren't you talking about last night and now you're talking about wheelchair races or what? So what, are you wussing out on me then? Do I have to go it alone? To go it, get it probably. Amy thinks for a minute, or pretends to think. If I may remember right, there's a spare or two in the track shed. So she does seriously want to do it then? Yes, of course she wants. But in a normal school uniform? Ah, yeah, you're right. I'd have expected her to wear her gym outfit for something like this. Wait, what are they doing there? Amy looks askance at me. Seriously? You can't think of why a shed full of track supplies at a school for the disabled would have racing gloves? Well, when she puts it that way, I suppose that makes perfect sense. Hey, I'm still getting used to this place. Give me a break, huh? I guess I can let it slide this time. Now come on, I'll need your help. I can't imagine what for, but then again, I didn't have a clue why racing gloves would be in the shed, so I'm not willing to press the issue. Amy navigates her way to the shed easily enough, though I can hear her grumbling under her breath. It's actually kinda cute. I hurry a little to reach the door first. Opening it will be easier for me than for her. The door opens and Amy starts to wheel inside, only to come to a sudden halt at the doorway. It seems the door sill is slightly too high for her to get over by herself. Oh my god. She makes a few runs at it, unsuccessfully, before crossing her eyes and glaring at the offending object. Stupid wheelchair! Hisao, can you give me a hand here? Sure, no problem. It's a simple enough matter for me to bump Amy over the doorway, jostling her slightly. Hey, easy there! Whoops, sorry. It's about this time that I fail to notice where I'm going and run Amy's chair into a mat. She gives a startled yelp and topples forward out of her chair. There's a moment of silence as I gaze in horror upon what I've done and Amy glares at me. Isao? Yes? Promise me you'll never work at a hospital. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Amy giggles and holds up a hand. Would you kindly help me back into my chair, Hisao? As I bend down to pick up Amy, she grins in triumph and pulls me into a kiss that quickly has us both entirely unconcerned about getting her back into the chair. I swear, if you start making out here, I'm going to be pissed. In fact, as I move to a more comfortable position, I confess that the chair is pushed out of the door, which, startled by the passage, swings shut. What the Jesus! Again? Really? Again? Alright, let's read what they have to say, and if it's too dirty, we'll leave it out. Alright. We're back! What I just witnessed cannot be described with words. Man, I didn't have such a good laugh in a long time. Well, long story short, to have safe sex, they decided to use the back door. Okay, but I think we are done now. I hope I can, maybe I can. When this started out, I had such a good laugh. I laughed through the whole thing. I tried to cut some of my laugh into, because that was hilarious. It takes some time, but finally we were both more or less clothed. That's a frantic moment when neither of us knows where Amy's wheelchair is, but I recall it going through the door and rescue it. Ah, by the way, they had a little talk. The track captain was not interested in Amy, and I didn't read it. But completely because I clicked the stuff away and so on. But since the track captain said that that would be a good idea, I suppose. Well, using the back door is a good idea, so I suppose he's homosexual. Or maybe I didn't read, as I already mentioned, I really didn't read the text, I just clicked away the stuff so that we could but I had a good laugh. Now be more careful going through the door this time, would you? Which door? Bums are not my friend right now. I'm so sorry we tried this. Yeah, I'm sorry too. Well, on the other hand, at the first time I thought, oh no, but this time this was just so dumb. Just so dumb. Really, this was so dumb it was hilarious. Amy shrugs and grins. Well, it was worth a shot, right? Worth a shot. And anyway, it was good exercise, can't argue that. Yeah, blah blah blah. As we make our way up to the nurse's office, I notice that Amy keeps shifting uncomfortably in her seat. God, this feels weird. Good thing I'm in a wheelchair, he said. Why is that? Because now I don't have to explain to the nurse why I'm walking funny. Oh, we're never doing this again. Yeah, at least don't do this while I witness it. Or at least prepare me. I was clicking the text away, I didn't even read it. Suddenly I read something about anal, and then there was that. The nurse is at least kind enough to not comment on the marks that Amy left on my shoulders. Nor does he say a word about Amy's constant shifting about in her wheelchair. Either he didn't notice, or he didn't want to notice. Probably the second. All the same, I'm going to have to make sure he didn't slip cyanide into my medication for a little while. Well, would be better. Just to be safe. I shower for longer than usual, just to be sure I'm clean out of our little experiment, and then collapse on my bed. Class is in 20 minutes, so I can probably afford a nap. And you're going to oversleep, aren't you? Who's there? Braden Walker. That's not how the joke goes at all. I already said who's there. More importantly, what time is it? Even more importantly, what day? I'm suddenly catapulted into wakefulness by both the fact that knocking still hasn't stopped and the fact that it's noon on a school day. Now fully awake, I can remember why I was napping. Better not give that excuse to Muto. Sorry, I wasn't Yeah, come on, that's... the game was so sweet until now. Oh man. Shit. I wonder how long this knocking is going to continue. Guess I ought to answer the door. Kenji. If you're talking about this to him now, I'm going to go crazy, really. I'm strangely unsurprised to see Kenji on the other side. Though it appears that Kenji is surprised to see me. What the hell are you doing here, man? Well, I was sleeping. Kenji nods in understanding. Knocked out. I see. I told you to be careful around the Ibarazaki chick, man. This is the sort of thing that happens when you are incautious. He makes an attempt to look at the back of my head. Did she hit you with something? Or was it a drug? Stop trying to touch me. Kenji produces a flashlight and shines it in my eyes. You got a concussion? I wasn't knocked out. Maybe you just don't remember. This conversation is going nowhere. Oh, isn't going anywhere. Sometimes I read what I want to read. No, I just had a tiring morning and fell asleep. Whatever, man. If you want to be in denial about this, I guess I can't stop you. But you gotta watch out for that girl, man. She's not safe. What? She's not safe to be around. She's one of their most sinister agents. If you're not careful, there's no telling what could happen. She's brought down stronger men than you know. What the hell are you talking about? She's not an agent of anything. And she didn't knock me out, okay? I also highly doubt that she's brought down anyone at all. Oh, yeah, when they had their little, in this chat, she mentioned that she had, little experience already. And probably Kenji is going to tell us with who. Kenji looks almost offended. I have no idea why. You don't believe me? That's cold, man. Real cold. I'm just trying to look out for you. That's what friends do, you know. We're friends? I had no idea. Man, Kenji's my best friend. He's my homie. Really, I feel so attached to Kenji. I would swap Lily for Kenji. Whoa, I said that. And that means something. That means something. Then again, I wonder if Kenji knows what being a friend even entails. I feel something like pity for him, standing there before me. Maybe he does think he's looking out for me. I know. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for the warning. I hold out my hand as a sign of peace. Kenji shakes it gingerly, like my hand could possibly be on fire. There's an awkward silence for a few seconds before Kenji remembers that he's still shaking my hand. Anyway, I need a favor. What kind of favor? I'm out of money. No, you aren't. You've got money kept in your desk drawer under a black notebook for emergencies. Did you ransack my room? That's not important. I don't need money anyway. He adopts a very serious tone. I'm about to undertake a major op. It'll blow the whole conspiracy wide open if I'm right. But it's dangerous, so I need you to do something for me in case I don't come back. Sure man, anything. What the hell is he planning on doing? Should I be telling someone about this? Probably he's going to steal more books out of the library. I know that's you. If I go missing, wait 3 days and then mail my journal off to the newspapers. It's hidden in my room under a false bottom in one of my desk drawers. How do I get into your room? I don't have a key. Kenji looks at me like I'm crazy. So pick the lock. You know how to do that, right? It's an important skill to learn at a young age. Yeah, of course I know how. I'll be sure to do that for you, if you go missing. I don't think I want to read Kenji's journal. Either way, Kenji seems pretty happy that I've agreed to do this thing for him. Great man, great. I'll see you around. I got stuff to do. And he's gone, dashing down the hallway. He made it seem so final. I hope I don't have to carry out his final wishes. Shaking my head, I close my door and walk back to my bed. Guess I should go to class, if only to catch the last half of the day. But I've come this far without going to class today, and I did want to read more of that Hawking book Muto lent me. Yeah, of course, Stephen Hawking. No cliché or something. There are no other physicists in the world except for Stephen Hawking. I'm sure he'll understand. Who's there? This time the noise jerks my attention away from my book. An experience not unlike being woken up. Who's there? Me! Aren't you glad? Oh no. Please, I have enough. I have enough, please. Please, let me rest. The voice is muffled through the door, but unmistakably Amy's. I hop up and open the door, smiling broadly. Hey, nice to see you again. Amy grins back, staring up at me from her wheelchair. Yeah, you would have seen me earlier, but the damned elevator wasn't working. Had to wait for them to fix it. You'd think they could keep it in better order, but no. I chuckle a bit at her vexed expression and invite her in. She wheels in easily, and with my help she hops onto my bed. There, much more comfortable than that stupid chair. A sigh of contentment hangs in the air, and for a minute we both just stare at one another. It's at that point that I notice the circle under Amy's eyes. They're not that dark, but they definitely weren't there before. Before I can ask about them, Amy fixes me with a mischievous stare. So I couldn't help but notice you weren't at lunch today. In fact, I don't think I saw you at all. What happened, Fell asleep. I actually didn't wake up until lunch, and only then because Kenji woke me up. What had you so tired? Not sleeping well? Finally. Not something normal. I can tell that she didn't mean to tell me this either, because she gives a little start like she's just been caught lying and hastens to add. It's not a big deal, though. What's the trouble? Amy shrugs and refuses to elaborate. Stressed over exams? Another shrug, but after a pause, Amy nods hesitantly. Yes, I guess. Actually, that's why I stopped by. She begins to look more and more miserable. Not so you'd notice, of course, but her eyes are on her lap. She's fidgeting and her voice is quiet. We need to stop hanging out so much. Huh? Why? Amy takes a deep breath, like she's been practicing this. Because you're too much fun to be around, and I can't concentrate when you're near me. With the exams coming up soon, I just can't have that distraction. Otherwise my grades will be pretty lousy, I'm afraid. I could help you study. She smiles at me, clearly unhappy with the situation. I'd love it if you could, but we wouldn't actually study, would we? Are you animals? Are you apes? Are you bonobo? Do you call them English bonobo too? You can do different stuff? Oh Jesus, this perverted shit. I mean, even now I'm trying to have a good thing, but I just want... Yeah. Okay, this one was good. That earns me a grin at least. Amy shakes her head. Idiot, you're full of yourself. Well, I'm pretty irresistible. More or less, I guess. So that's the situation, Hisao. I have too much fun around you, and if I'm going to go into exams prepared, I need to be alone. Hey, that's okay. It really seems to have been bothering her. Besides, it's only a couple of weeks, and we'll still see each other in the mornings and at lunch. We can just hang out at school, no problem. And after exams, we'll go on a date to celebrate their being over, okay? Amy grins, pleased by this proposal. Yeah, sure, that sounds great. As if to signal the end of the curse, she leans in and kisses me. The rest of the night is not spent worrying about exams. Well, at least I don't have to witness it this time. Ah, man. It's weird how easily Amy and I can keep from seeing one another after class now. Actually, I'd venture to say that it's vaguely disturbing. As easily as we'd come together, we seem to have split apart without much trouble. Well, I guess that's not exactly true. We'd both been pretty bummed after that last night together. And we get to see each other every morning for our runs. And just our runs, I might add. Yeah, after that experience you might. Lunch too. I especially enjoy lunchtime with her. We have plenty of time to talk about everything outside of school, whereas the morning runs have become increasingly businesslike. I think it's because Amy wants to make up for our foolery in the storage shed. But no matter how much we joke at lunch, I can't help feeling a little worried about her. She seems distracted more often, and I've caught her fidgeting nervously more than once. Never figured her to be someone who cared that deeply about exams, but they certainly seem to be taking their toll. Sorry. Even though they haven't even started. I thought I had to sneeze, sorry. This is just the run-up, the deep breath before the plunge. Tomorrow, the real trials begin. Or the real exams, anyway. I think I have to sneeze. One moment, please. We'll be back right away. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the short interruption. As for me, I actually don't feel that worried about exams at all. I'm not sure why. I mean, they're pretty important. My scores here will determine my odds of getting into a good university. Hell, if I'm too cavalier now, it could spell doom for my academic career. But going into them, I feel confident that I'll come out the other side okay. Yeah, I had that same feeling when I was about to graduate. Would to think I've got the science examination locked up at any rate. Or as he says, the last thing that should give you trouble is my exam, Hiso. It's way beneath your talents. Then again, it is Muto who is telling me this. His praise of my carries the veiled implication that anything less than perfect from me would be a disappointment, which has actually caused me to fret more than I should about the exam. It's for that reason that I find myself in the library after class, poring over the textbook. Pretty simple things to look over. Some formulas of velocity, a few bits about friction. I walk in the park compared to my dreaded English exam. Never was good with languages. As I flip through my notes one more time, my mind begins to wander. After these exams are over, things should get easier. Soon we'll be graduated, then off to college hopefully. I remember my abortive attempt to find out what Amy plans to do after high school. She avoided the subject pretty deftly, as I recall. Heck, it seems that just about every time I push too hard, she dances around the subject. Or distracts me through other means. Stop with that shit! I don't want these sexual references. Like a few days ago at lunch when Rin wasn't around. I've done it! Yeah, we all know it's Kenji. I'm startled from my reverie by Yuko's triumphant shout. Gah! Yuko seems mortified at my sudden starting. Oh my god! I'm so sorry, I just got... and I really wasn't, and it's just that... As she stutters, I move to quickly calm her down before she gets too agitated. Whoa, hey! My words seem ineffective. Yuko continues to work herself into a complete frenzy. And it's a library, and I shouldn't be... Easy there, just calm down. And really, I'm setting a bad example, and now I get fired because I can't do anything right. You shouldn't work at a Chinese tea house. Oh my god, she's crying. Yuko! Shouting seems to work, though I draw the ire of several other students studying in the library. Yuko snaps into attention, like a soldier who's just heard the captain bark an order. Sorry! Calm down, it's okay. You just startled me a little, and that's only because I was daydreaming instead of studying. So really, you got me back on task. This is a complete lie, but it seems to work. Yuko takes a deep breath and seems to calm down a little. Though she keeps shifting around with a nervous energy that seems awful familiar. So what's got you so excited anyway? The Yamaku cat burglar. To her credit, Yuko manages to convey her intense excitement in a whisper. I think I know who it is. I got an anonymous tip as to their identity. So I did some spying and I think the tipster was right. Oh really? And who was this burglar? Yuko shuts her mouth, shaking her head decisively. Nope, I can't tell you that. Why not? It's between me and the burglar. Can't risk you warning him that I'm onto his game. Could tip his hand early and blow town. Then I'm left with no perp. When did Yuko start talking like a hard-boiled detective? I wouldn't warn them. Why would I care? If you got to ask that question, then you don't need to know. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Congratulations, I guess. Thanks. What for? The, cat burglar thing? Yuko nods and smiles appreciatively. So, studying for the exams? Well, that was the plan. I'm not having much luck, though. Really? Is it because you can't find a book? I'm really sorry. I've been meaning to clean the shelves up for weeks now, but I keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry. Whoa, wait. That's not that. I've got my book right here. To illustrate the point, and hopefully calm Yuko down, I show her the textbook in front of me. My mind just keeps wandering, is all. Is it because of the noise in here? I'm trying to be more strict about the noise levels, but I can't bring myself to yell at people. I mean, aren't their lives hard enough without me throwing my authority around? No, it's not the noise level either, I promise. I'm just... hell, I don't know. Worried about Amy. Worried about us. Worried about what happens after we graduate. Amy's been kind of weird lately. What do you mean? Well, you know how we are dating now. You just don't know that we are actually, a couple. Or at least I don't know that we are beyond friends. Well, after the things you did, I'm pretty sure you are beyond any level I want to see. Though friends normally don't do the sort of things we do. Physically, we are a couple. Coupling, at least. Ha. 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 It's like every time I try to find out more about her, or about what she wants to do with her life, she dodges the question. Like the other day, I was talking to her at lunch about some schools I've been looking into. And I asked her, have you looked into any schools lately? She shrugs in response, says no, and when I ask why not, she says that she doesn't think that far ahead. I asked why she had that policy, and I suddenly realized what I'm about to start describing and wisely decide to clam up. She what? She changed the subject. Wouldn't talk about it. Maybe it's an uncomfortable subject for her. Or she just doesn't think it needs explaining. Yeah, but it's not just that. Every time I try to find out what's been bothering her, she changes the subject too. It's like she likes being with me, but not getting close to me. Now that I've said it out loud, I feel worse. You could digest this bit of information. You know, it seems to me that you're more serious about this than she is. Yeah, probably. Oh man, the first true words in this part. I can almost feel my stomach twist into a knot. She's right. That's exactly what it seems like. But is that really what's going on? I mean, or maybe that's just Amy's handling of a relationship. Yeah, maybe you are taking her behavior too seriously. Maybe she's just that kind of person. But you at least need to talk about it. But after the exams. You can wait these few days. Sorry, I'm just talking nonsense. You shouldn't take my advice. You barely know me. I barely know anybody here, and I still do these things with them. I'm just a librarian, and I'm single, so you can imagine I can't know what I'm talking about. Oh, no, I think you have a point. As much as it hurts to even consider it. Yuko seems to try desperately to find a way to soften the blow somewhat. Look. I'm probably wrong. But if you want to be sure of how obviously wrong I am, maybe you should just talk to her. Get some time alone and just ask about it. And don't let her change the subject either. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Or maybe I should just enjoy what I have. We are fun hanging out after all. And the runs are nice, and the other activities are nice, and talking to her is nice. Do I really need to get closer to her? What I've got right now is pretty good. But that's silly. I want to get closer to her. I want to be able to help her out with whatever is bothering her. But maybe I should wait until after exams are over. Yeah, definitely. Maybe she'll brighten up once the stress has passed. If she does, then I don't need to worry about it anymore. But if she doesn't, well, I cross that bridge when I come to it. I thank Yuko for her advice and head back to my room. Alright, I need to stop. I can't handle this bullshit anymore. This game was so fun. And now it's just so tasteless. This bullshit in the chat. So tasteless. I really enjoy that game, but well, you know, probably there are some people out who want to see that, so well, anyway. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see how the story goes on, and if you don't want to see how they have sex, because I definitely won't show that, come back to see more. Alright then, bye bye.